Greetings, fellow humans. I'm MartianBuu, and this is Pokemon Pocket, which is a condensed version of the Pokemon trading card game releasing globally for mobile on October 30th. Each Pokemon has health and attacks that can deal damage. You can see the health in the top right of the card, and in the main body of the card, you can see the attack Blot, which deals 10 damage and requires a grass energy to be used. Every turn, a player can attach an energy from the energy zone to one of their Pokemon. You can see my opponent's energy zone in the top left. It has the grass symbol right here. My energy zone is in the bottom right with the fighting symbol right here. To attach an energy, you just drag an energy from the energy zone over to your Pokemon, just like that. Now that Cubone has a fighting energy on it, it can use all of its attacks that require one fighting energy or a colorless energy. A colorless energy requirement can be fulfilled by any energy. That's that little white symbol right there. Before I attack, I can play trainer cards to help support my Pokemon. So here we have Pokeball, which puts a random basic Pokemon from my deck into my hand. A basic Pokemon is a Pokemon that you can play right down on the field. So that would be like Cubone. This Marowak in my hand is a stage 1 Pokemon, so it requires Cubone to have been out on the field for a turn already before it can evolve. Pokeball is an item, which is one of the 2 subtypes of trainer cards. Items have minor effects, but you can use as many items as you want during a turn. So you use them just by dragging it out of your hand like that, and now I get my one random basic Pokemon into my hand. Supporters are the other type of trainer card. They have major effects, but you can only use one each turn. Each player can have 1 Pokemon in the active spot and 3 Pokemon on the bench. As you can see, my opponent has 1 in their active spot and all 3 bench spots are full as well, but my bench is empty, which means I can take this Hitmonchan from my hand and put it onto my bench. Now that I've done everything I can do in my turn, it's time to attack. I go to attack, and once completed, my turn is automatically ended. Coming back to my turn, I draw a new card, and now that Cubone has been around for a turn, I'm free to evolve it. When a Pokemon is knocked out, you gain a point. The first player to get to 3 points wins the game. This Marowak is an EX, which means it's stronger than other Pokemon, but it's worth 2 points when it's knocked out. It's a new turn, so I can attach an energy again, letting me use my Bone Meringue attack. Wow, I got 2 heads. That's 160 damage, knocking out Petlil, at which point I will gain a point. That's the basics of the gameplay. I hope you enjoy this video and look forward to downloading Pokemon Pocket on October 30th. It's weird that unlike regular TCG, you can play a supporter turn 1. You know what's really funny to me? I was thinking about it. So the regular Pokemon TCG has changed what the turn 1 limiter is several times. All right. So when it first came out, there wasn't a turn 1 limiter. And then they added, I believe the first thing they added was can't play any trainers. I think that's the first one. But anyways, they explored any trainers, they explored can't attack, and they explored can't attack. I don't think it was can't attack. I don't think that was the first one. They've changed it and brought it back several times over the years. I think they limited trainers before they limited attacks. But anyways, they eventually settled on can't attack and can't use a supporter. So that's where we're at right now. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of numbers. All right, I can do this though. So, but anyways, it's always been can you attack and what trainers can you use on the first turn. Only in Pocket have they ever tried you can't attach an energy on the first turn, which is so funny to me. Like they could have just gone with supporters and attacks like they have in the broader trading card game, but they decided to go with you can attack and you can use a supporter. Now, I know what you're saying, chat. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, but Martian, if you can't attach an energy on the first turn, how can you attack on the first turn? And I'll tell you how. The way that you can No, that was not the Marowak I wanted to play. Oh my goodness, I'm so awful at this. Chat, am I the worst streamer? There's a card called Misty, and you flip a coin until you get tails. Then for each heads, you take a water energy and put it on one of your water Pokemon. So if you go first, you can actually start with Articuno and play Misty, and then attack with your 80 damage on the first turn. And if you're like me on the receiving end of that, and you only had one Pokemon in play, you just lose before you ever got to do anything. It's perfect. It's the perfect system. King Oglu, Mr. Martian, is this Haymaker? You know, it's almost Haymaker. It's got the Hitmonchan. But thank you so much for the, what is that, 16 months? You're amazing, my friend. Thank you so much. How do you feel about me accidentally using the wrong Marowak when I really, really, really needed to play the other one? Do you have any opinions on that? Any charge cards in other Pokemon TCG games? Yeah, there's some. You mean like can attack on the first turn if you go first? I wish that they use that modifier more often. Like, they'll put that on attacks where the attack searches for your Pokemon to put on your bench, or the damage is really light, or it'll like accelerate an energy out of your deck. And I wish that they do that more often, because right now it just feels so stupid to not be able to use any setup attacks. Like the fact that half the time you can't use a setup attack on your first turn has deleted setup attacks from the game. Like, you don't use Pokemon that search your deck for basics anymore at all, and you used to all the time. That used to be a very, very common thing in Pokemon, like the strike and run Dunsparce and stuff like that. But now that you can't attack on the first turn, nobody ever does that sort of thing. So I feel like they should, like, Pokemon with benign setup attacks should all have the qualifier, if it's your first turn, you can use this. You love it when Martian is excited about gaming. How you doing, How you doing in? Oh, they want to save my Marowak? That's great. Take out the Hitmonchan. Finish him. Oh, please use Side Drive on it. Use your giant Chumbo attack. That could have knocked out my Marowak. Oh my goodness, I'm so pleased. All right, so this is the part where I send up Marowak EX, and he gets at least one heads, and then I instantly win the game. Marowak, I need you to get one heads. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for 2 heads. I'm gonna ask you for 2 heads later. I know I'm gonna need to. All I need from you is 1 heads right now. Can you do that for me? Let's go. Oh no, come on, Marowak, no! Oh! Betrayed. You like how I'm guaranteed a mana every turn? Yeah. It's interesting not having energy cards in deck. I thought it would be stupid at first, and now I'm not sure it's stupid. But okay, so the reason that it is stupid right now is it determines your energy for you. So if you like, having multiple types in the same deck is really bad right now, because if you need if you're going like fighting and fire or something like that, and you need a fire energy, you could get just fighting energy for 4 turns in a row and like get destroyed. All right, this has been a disaster, Mr. Marowak. I hope you know how disappointed I am in you. All right, I asked you for literally 1 heads, and you couldn't even give me that. Please, come on, no, thank you. Okay. Marowak's letting me know that he's still the boss, right? He determines how many heads I get. Okay, so you can see there's EX here. So this is Marowak EX, and this is Marowak Not So EX. You can see next to the title, it's just Marowak, and the other one was Marowak EX. The EX Pokemon are worth an additional prize. That's the, well, sorry, that's Pokemon talk, regular Pokemon talk. The EX Pokemon are worth an additional point. You're playing to get 3 points. All right, so my opponent has a very one heads on Bone Meringue type of bench going on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Magic Sabrina to put that Mewtwo on the bench so that my beloved Marowak, who could do no wrong, only has to worry about getting one heads. You know, I'm really doing it for his sake. Because if it was Mewtwo, he'd have to get 2 heads, right? And we don't want to put that kind of pressure on him. You know what? It's just 1 heads, Marowak EX. I just hope you're... I tried to be nice to him. I was talking about... No! Why? You can't even be nice anymore, right? So, man. Marowak, what a traitor. What a stinky traitor. He's testing me too. That's probably what it is every time he gets 2 tails and I just, you know, talk about how stupid he is, he's more motivated to get double tails in the future. Only killing front Pokemon gets you a point. You can't actually attack the bench. Unless an attack says so. You can't attack the bench. What is the difference between my Marowaks? All right, so one Marowak, this one, is an EX, so it's worth 2 points when they knock it out. And its attack costs 2 energy. For each heads, you flip 2 coins. For each heads, it does 80 damage. So it's my big damage Marowak. The other one, let's see if I draw it right now. Yay, there it is. So I'm gonna do this just so that there are less incentivized to red card me, you know? Like, I want to keep my Marowaks. Specifically this one, because I'm only running 1. I used to run 2 of each, because you can. And, like, there's no way to search for evolutions, so it was nice to have the evolution consistency by running 2 of each. But it also clogs your hand a bit, and I often don't want to play one of this one at all. So... I cut 1 for a red card. But anyways, so this one has 140 HP and is worth 2 points and has a really strong attack. This one has 40 less HP than that and a cheap attack. So for 1 energy, it does 40. Now you see, if I hadn't blown those X speeds there, I would have used an X speed and switched to Hitmonchan, which honestly was probably the play, to be honest. Like, I could see tossing 1. I stand by my logic for burning them both, but I think I should have only burned 1 because I did want to retreat here. Now I'm forced to turn into this Marowak, which is okay, but it's not great. And I'm going to Sabrina here to try to slow them down a bit. So anyways, this one does less damage, has less health, but it's only worth 1 point. It also can attack faster because it only has 1 energy, which is why I evolved to this one this time, so I can get rolling right now. Is this the same rules as the TCG? I have no clue what those are, but I'm still curious. They're similar. They're not the same. They're, as they say, they're condensed. Condensed rules. Interesting. Still attaching to the bench one, huh? I would absolutely love my other Cubone. Would love to get started powering that guy up. How much money have you spent on this game so far? 0. I've spent 0 monies on this game. Which is why I'm still playing this Marowak deck. Like, I have the Marowaks to play this deck, which is why I'm playing it. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna just retreat this and send this up. And okay, so if I use Giovanni, They know that that's going to get knocked out right now if they leave it up. But if I don't use Giovanni, if I top deck research, I can't play the research. So I think I play Giovanni here. 8 cards left in deck. How many research have I played already? Just one? And one Pokeball? So I have like 3 possible outs of 8 cards to get my Cubone. The Cubone, the Pokeball, the research. Oh, it's a new game? What up, Guapo? Why do you think Bulbasaur is everyone's least favorite starter Pokemon? I'm the worst person to ask because my dad's favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur. So, in my experience, Bulbasaur is a favorite Pokemon. I also like Bulbasaur a lot more than. Do you mean the first start, like, you know, first starter Pokemon? Like, why it's the least favorite of the first 3? Did they take some poll and it turns out Bulbasaur is the least favorite one? This is a neat looking game. Glad to see new games coming out in the Hearthstone genre. Yeah. So there exist multiple versions of the same Pokemon. Well, it's cool because you can evolve into a different one depending on your needs, right? It's nice to have options. So Cubone evolves into Marowak. If you have multiple types of Marowaks, you can use a different Marowak for a different situation. It's not like there is an upside to that. Oh, Joe, I only need one more. Yeah, because I knocked out a Mewtwo. I only need 1 more point. So I could Sabrina their Mewtwo out of the active and then get 1 heads on Marowak. Do you think you can get 1 heads for me, Marowak? Just 1. When Global comes out, can you use this account? Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be great. All right, Marowak. I only need you to get 1 heads. All right. If you don't get 1 heads, that Mewtwo will attach an energy and knock you out, losing us the game. All right. Maximum pressure, Marowak. All right. It's all on you. If we lose this game, it's your fault. You've betrayed us both. Oh my goodness, cheap viewers. Bulbs always wreck the first couple gyms on red and blue. Okay, so Charmander evolves into Charizard and Squirtle is a turtle. So that would be my opinion, my thought process on why I would imagine those 2 would be a more popular starter than Bulbasaur. Marowak, you did such a good job. I'm so proud of you. Okay, can we get some applause in the chat? Get some applause in the chat from Marowak. What a good doggy. I'm so proud of you. Yeah. Going first. Rude. Oh man, I don't even have a good. Well, no, this is bad. If I get X speed, this will be okay. These Cubone are the same, by the way. I just have a fancy art for one of them. Hey, Marowak. Let's get a Hitmonchan. Pokeball is like a ridiculous trainer in this. It's so funny because Pokeball in the actual card game is hot garbage. It's like flip a coin and if heads, search your deck for a Pokemon. But coin flip cards have to be pretty good to see play, and I would hold on to that and wait for next turn if it wasn't for a red card. Because now they can Sabrina me and undo my X speed, and then I'm back to square one as far as my energy attack cadence. But because they can red card me, I want to hold on to it. I want to like use it now and force them to use their Sabrina. But anyways, if a card requires a coin flip, it has to be really good in the regular card game. And searching your deck for any Pokemon is... Oh, see, they did it. Annoying. Annoying. So yeah, searching your deck for any Pokemon is good in the regular card game, but you can already search for specific Pokemon guaranteed, right? you're not going to include flip a coin of heads, search your deck for a Pokemon in your deck, when you could instead... I actually don't know how much damage the Electrode does. So I'm going to do this now to make it, you know, give them a taste of their own medicine, but also make it harder for them to knock out the Cubone. So yeah, you would never use Pokeball in the regular card game, but in this card game, it's just get a random basic from your deck and put it in your hand. So it basically amounts to 0 mana, draw a card, draw a good card, and helps you with your consistency, since you should only really be running 2 different types of basic Pokemon anyway. So it basically just makes your deck smaller in this game. It's cool this game has different stuff that is good from the main game. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of cool. All right, did my opponent not attach an energy last? No, they attached it to the Pikachu. I take it back. All right, Marowak, show me the heads. Yeah. All right, wasting a double heads on this Magnemite, and that is better than, you know, double tails on the Magnemite. The Pikachu is really good. I'd like to have it. It's 2 lightning for 30 damage times the amount of lightning Pokemon on your bench. So it ends up being 2 for 90, which is really strong for this game. Like my guy is average 2 for 80. So that should give you some context. You know, Pikachu will 2-shot everything. And it has a small amount of energy requirement, so it's really easy to power up. Why aren't the cards the same in this game as the real game? Because the rule sets are very different, and this one is built for digital, whereas the other one is built to be played IRL. So like you wouldn't have search your deck for a draw a random card from your deck in the other one, because how do you randomize that? Out of my hand for red card reasons. All right, 2 heads, Marowak. Let's go. Ooh. Oh my goodness, you're so good at this. Marowak, you're broken. Look at that. 2 for 108, 160 plus 20 for weakness. 2 for 160. Marowak is the most broken card in the whole game. You know, if the RNG gods smile upon you, at least. Is there a plan to just start filling the game with cards from the TCG, or will it get original cards? It's got a ton of original cards. Well, we're going first, and we started with Cubone. Going second, starting with Cubone, isn't as bad because you can use Growl to kind of make it like reduce the odds that the Cubone gets knocked out, and then you can follow that up with attaching an energy and evolving it the next turn. But the fact that you don't get to attack at all on the first turn with Cubone, and the fact that the good Marowak requires 2 energy, makes starting with Cubone a little sketch. Alright, well, I'm gonna do that thing again where I retreat the Cubone and hope that they don't Sabrina me. What is this? Huh. Does that evolve into something? It's the first time I've like not really remembered a Pokemon. I've seen that before, but I don't remember if it evolves or not. That's an Alola Pokemon, isn't it? Isn't that a Gen... What was that, 7? We're on Gen 9 right now, and it was 2 ago. Okay. Was that a... This is a Gen 5? Are you lying to me? This is a Gen 5. The Blitzel. No, I'm talking about this one. I'm familiar with the Blitzel. That was Alola. Does it evolve, or is this just it? Is this as far as it goes? That's it? So they're just running that in this deck, huh? Interesting. Giovanni off the top? Aww. Giovanni off the top would have been great. Okay. Well, we have all... Okay, I'm not going to red card my opponent here. So the Zebstrika deals 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It can go to the bench too. So there's no reason for me to... There's no reason for me to potion my active, because it's not necessarily the one that's going to take damage. And I might want that potion to heal off the bench damage from the Zebstrika if they're going to do that. People complain about decks that run just Zapdos, but like, how are they powering this thing up? Like, you run just Zapdos and 18 non-Pokemon guards, and then you just like, you start attaching energies to it raw, hit with Peck for 2 turns, and then hit with Thunder Hurricane? Doesn't seem good to me. This is Gen 8? Oh. Well. That's a Pokemon. We know that much. We know that much. I can't believe... I've never had that before, where I've just sat here, like, just not remembering what a Pokemon is / does. As far as, like, what does it evolve? What gen is it from? That's a new experience for me. I'm getting old. Feels terrible. Alright, so I'm potioning this now because Electro Ball deals 70 damage, so I want them to have to Giovanni me if they're gonna knock out my Hitmonchan. This art's kind of funny. I like when they do that. I didn't as a kid. When I was a kid and the art would have like, it was a sewn thing or a claymation thing, I thought it was really stupid. But, you know, now that I'm a million years old, I really appreciate those alternate arts. I think they're cool. This version feels so much boring compared to OG TCG. Sure, yeah. The other one is a lot more interesting, but it's also, like, this is built to be a mobile game, right? Go forth, my Hitmonchan. Look at this Charmander. How do you go inside? You're supposed to be able to, like, go inside these and look around or something. Do you have to look at them in the collection that way? Hopefully they red card me. That'd be great. I do not want these cards. Marshy clearly playing with a 2-headed coin. Tails don't exist. Too true. Too true. Only 3 have extra art? Oh, okay, never mind. I'm a liar. That game was almost exactly 5 minutes. You timed it? Guapo, thank you so much. All right, that's so helpful. All right, if I assume around 5 minutes each, I only need like 1 or 2 more. Here's a Cubone. Hey, we switch them, right? Like, we want to start damaging the one that already has energy on it. Come forth, Charmander with an energy. Take your 30 damage. I probably want like 3 more actually. I think 2 of those marks are for a pack opening and a Wonder Pick. For me to work on an intro. Do I take the knockout or do I start working on that one? I guess I'll just take the knockout. Then Marowak can get 2 heads on the Charizard. That's a point for me. Good for me. You know how scary that Charmeleon is. It seems very confident. Oh, this Charizard. That's not Charizard EX at all. That's not Charizard EX at all. Still does a lot of damage, though. Okay, so on the one hand, my opponent has a ton of cards in their hands, but on the other hand, they don't have another basic, right? So I feel like the cards in their hand aren't good, and I don't want to red card them. But like, they have 6 cards in their hand, and I really want to red card them. They shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 3 cards. So juicy. But like, am I helping them? Alright. I think the X speed is such an interesting way to do switch. It's too bad that like there isn't a way to help out a high retreat cost Pokemon with this. You know, if a Pokemon has 1 retreat or 2 retreat, X speed is good with it, but like why even bother if they have 3 retreat? Ooh, one more heads. Aw. Alright, now we see if our red card was stupid. Did opponent get a basic because I red carded them? Find out this time on Marshy Ball Chicken. Yeah. They did. I stink. If... Oh, they're gonna retreat? That makes sense. I was gonna say if I don't get Giovanni, I'm gonna Sabrina them so I can start working on the Moltres, but... They've gone and switched themselves. Alright, so they get to flip 3 coins, and for each heads, they get to attach a fire Pokemon, or fire energy to a benched fire Pokemon. Only 1 heads. I mean, I was about to say good enough, but they had to discard 1. Okay. Opponent conceded. We didn't even get to see if I could have Bone Ring 2 tails. All right, my opponent had high confidence I was about to hit 2 heads. All right, I'm counting that as a 2 heads. Marowak's broken. The reason that I have the second Marowak in here is A, because there's a tutor for a basic and there isn't a tutor for evolution, so I'm just more likely to be able to evolve Cubone if I run both versions. But the other one has different utility, so I plan to use all my Cubones to evolve into Marowak EX, but there are times when dealing 1 for 40 or giving up 1 less prize is better than having the second Marowak EX. So I don't want to run 2 Cubone and 1/1 for Marowak EX. I want to have just the extra Marowak as an option to evolve into. And I've done that before, you know, over the years of the TCG. That's not new to me. That's not like it surprises me that I would do that. Yeah. Anyways, but that's not to say that, you know, it's not valid to think like it's weird to have 2 basics and 3 evolutions, because it is. But like, I don't relate to it because I've done the extra evolutions for extra options thing tons of times. Prizes, what's that? Oh yeah, it's gonna be really hard for me. It's gonna be really hard for me to transition to talking about points instead of talking about prizes. It's gonna be so weird. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get used to that, but it's gonna be a long time. Is this worth a point, by the way? It is. You can never tell with the fossil cards what they're gonna do. All right. I mean, I could have knocked that out for sure if I'd evolved to this one, but I definitely don't want to have my only Pokemon be that Marowak. 1 heads, come on, Marowak, you big brungus, no! Alright, I have gotten double tails, like, you know, 6,000, 8,000% more often. It's like, crazy. I get double tails all the time. I've gotten double heads like once when it mattered. I wonder if this Meowth is just worth running, because the deck sizes are so small that... Marowak! Thank you! Jeepers! You found out there's no deck out victory yesterday? I was wondering that myself. Like, I haven't gotten quite close enough yet to see, but yeah, so it just keeps going. Friend ID, I couldn't tell you. It's too long. I haven't memorized it yet. At least Marowak isn't a beef stew. Not this time. I remember looking at this and thinking, oh man. Wait, no way. No way I'm gonna lose to this right now. Are you kidding me? Okay, so I know this Aerodactyl from having played it, like this picture of Aerodactyl from having played it in the IRL TCG, and I was like, wow, this thing's garbage. Like, it makes me sad to see it be garbage because I remember when it was good. But like, the exact only situation where this ever would have been good just happened. No! I only had one basic Pokemon out and they just shuffled it back into my deck. No! Going second, that's perfect. I'm so into it, chat. Pokemon Duel Links. What do you call a basic Pokemon? So it's when it goes to evolving. So there's basics like Cubone, and then this would evolve into the stage 1 Marowak. And there isn't a stage 2 of Marowak line. So like Charizard, you know, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard. Charmander is a basic, Charmeleon is a stage 1, and Charizard is a stage 2. That's how you call those things. Hey, Marowak. I think my opponent's going to evolve into Rapidash and deal 40 damage to me. Just a theory, chat. All right. Wow. That hurt my feelings. Now my new plan, my new Marshy plan, the finest plan of all time, is to get 2 heads on this Marowak. All right, Marowak, redeem yourself for all the disasters that you have accumulated on me this whole time. All right, I need to play the second Cubone so my opponent doesn't Aerodactyl me into the deck. All right, Boomerang, go. 2 heads. Oh my goodness, you're so good at this, Marowak. Like, 2 for 160, that's broken. That's actually broken. This is the best deck in the game when it gets 2 heads. Now what are you gonna do? Lose to me? Whoa. I guess they are. So after streaming Pokemon Pocket for a day, I'm very pleased with it, not necessarily as a game for its own sake, but as a game to stream. It's the first one that's felt like Hearthstone. I've tried streaming some other card games and they've been alright for streaming. Pokemon Live, the regular trading card game, is a little bit tough as a stream game because you're constantly obligated to play at a certain pace. You don't really get the downtime that you would get from Hearthstone to turn to chat and talk about what's going on. Even Marvel Snap, where if your opponent's playing a little bit slow, you'll have some time to turn to chat, isn't that great for streaming compared to Hearthstone, just because if they're playing at a decent pace, as soon as you're done making your move, the actions are happening. So you don't have the same guaranteed downtime that you would get in Hearthstone. But I had a blast today. I was playing a game that feels fresh compared to the same, you know, wild stuff that I usually play. But I still had, during my opponent's turn, to turn to chat and focus on them completely until it came back to my turn. So I really enjoy Pokemon Pocket as another game to stream in the same style that I stream Hearthstone, if that makes sense. I'm really hoping that with the global launch, this will be popular so that it makes sense to keep streaming it. And I hope that enough of you enjoy today's video and tomorrow's video that I can justify doing more of it in the more near future. But yeah, I had a really good time streaming this today, and I hope to have some more really good times streaming it soon. Thanks for watching.